The Ilia Topuria situation is very messy, and people had suspected this, but it looks like it was confirmed by himself. His wife had been posting things on her Instagram story about violence against women, and amid the divorce rumors, people had started to suspect that she was talking about Ilia in those stories. Then Gaethje versus Paddy was confirmed for the interim title, which told us that Topuria was going to be out for a while, and many had thought that he would return sometime in mid-2026. Well, he just released a statement, and in that statement, he says that he has received threats that false allegations of domestic abuse, unless financial demands were met, would be made against him. So basically, he's saying that he's being blackmailed and extorted. He says in the statement that he has evidence of all of this, and he seems confident that it will be ruled in his favor. Also, he said that he put this statement on because when he's silent, that narratives start being formed, so it was important for him to put this out there just so people can understand what's going on. Now I want to focus more on what this means for the lightweight division, because there's no point in speculating on what happened here as we know nothing. But we all know how this works. There's going to be two sides. One side is going to be fans of Topuria, and they say the woman is lying and she's trying to ruin his life and he would never do anything like this. And the other side is going to be people who don't like Topuria to begin with and will call him all kinds of names. But both of these sides have zero evidence to go off of and are picking sides not knowing anything. So I'm not here to speculate about who's lying and what actually happened because I have no idea what happened and neither do any of the fans. With time, we'll get the facts and then we can actually pick sides and decide based on the evidence what we think happened. But right now, it just feels like fandom. If you like him, then you support him, and if you don't like him, then you believe that he's the one lying. It feels like Bryce Mitchell is also doing this. He weighed in with his own take and it does feel like he's rushing. Now I don't know if he has other motives. I don't know if he wants to fight his brother, so he's putting this out there as kind of promotion to build that fight, but it does feel like that some people are kind of rushing to pick a side when there's no need for that. So moving on from that, what does this mean for the lightweight division? Like I said earlier, this is a very messy situation and many people had just kind of assumed that he would be ready for June or July of 2026, but that's not a guarantee. I think I could see a situation where Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje happens for the interim title, and then a couple months later, Ilia realizes that the situation has still not been cleared up and he decides to vacate his title, which I guess would make the winner of Gaethje versus Pimblett to just now become the undisputed champion. Because as of right now, he just said that he is stepping away from fighting. He hasn't said anything about vacating his title, and it has not been confirmed yet whether the Pimblett versus Gaethje fight is for the undisputed title. So I think that fight most likely just plays out for the interim title and then they just see kind of where they're at. Now from here, could somebody like Tsarukyan enter the conversation? I think so. If Topuria isn't ready, then Tsarukyan might fight for the undisputed title before Ilia even returns. It's crazy how things move. Nobody would even guess that this would play out like this just a couple months ago, but that's just how things are. Now I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the situation, but just to kind of end it off, this whole thing just kind of sucks for everybody, right? Because if it's true that Ilia did what he is being accused of, then there's a victim here who was hurt. And if it's not true, then his reputation has been damaged and he could be losing out on some of his prime years as a fighter. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take to resolve, but he could be out for a little bit. It just sucks for everybody involved, but especially the kids. So at this point, let's just hope the situation is resolved soon. And for everybody, for the fans, for the fighters who are trying to create some promotion for themselves, there's no need to do this. In a messy situation like this, I think it's best to wait for all the evidence before you come to your conclusions.